Ambassador Catherine Weiler, Prime Minister Nicole Trowbridge.
Welcome.
Sir, it's an honor to meet you.
Honor to be met.
A sleek yet addictive political thriller on Netflix gives Kerry Russell another well-earned lead performance in one of the best cliffhanger endings in recent memory. The Diplomat skillfully strikes a balance between keeping government infighting from coming across as satirical, overdone, or downright boring. The show is accessible to a broad audience without alienating those who aren't aware of the distinctions between the FBI and the CIA, while also maintaining a level of craziness that keeps viewers interested. As a result, from the time the conclusion aired, a second season appeared likely. Now that showrunner Deborah Kahn has an ongoing connection with Netflix, that commitment is official. So far, this is what we know. When will Season 2 of The Diplomat air? The Diplomat's second season will premiere on May 1st, according to an official announcement from Netflix. From the start, it appeared inevitable that the show would continue because Kahn signed a global Netflix deal. According to Deadline, Netflix Vice President and Head of Drama Development, Jenny Howe, stated, "I've seen firsthand Deb's incredible work on shows including The West Wing. She's going to bring all of this to The Diplomat. Character depth, high stakes, and unexpected turns, and an incredible plot. We are overjoyed to have Deb join Netflix." And Kahn herself is eager to do more. She told Elle.com in an interview, "I've been fortunate in my life to work on a lot of long-running series, so I think that's how I think." She says, "I look for stories that can go for a long time because for me, the excitement is being able to go in really deep with characters you already know and you have a relationship with. It's fantastic. You plan for the best version and hope for the best version, and we'll see what happens." Russell similarly shared her interest in returning, telling Elle.com, "Actors all have different jobs, and some are good and some are okay, or some are really serious, and this is really fun, one to be a part of. And I would love to do more, so we'll see." After the Season 2 announcement was made, Kahn had this to say, per Netflix's editorial site, Tudo. "We had such a great time making The Diplomat, and it's a thrill to see how much people are enjoying it. We're so glad we get to do it again." What will Season 2 be about? An explosive Season 1 finale ended on a cliffhanger, leaving the fate of Hal Weiler, Rufus Sewell, Stuart Hayford, Atao Asando, and Ronnie, Jess Chenlayu unclear. After U.S. Ambassador Kate Weiler, Kerry Russell, and Austin Dennison, David Geisy infer that Prime Minister Nicole Trowbridge, Rory Kinnear, was a real source of the attack on the HMS Courageous and that he hired the Russian Lenkov group to kill his fellow citizens. A bomb goes off in the car of Tory MP Merritt Grove. Hal, Stuart, Ronnie, and Merritt are all within range of the blast, and when Kate and Austin get the news, the camera cuts to black before we can learn what happens next. The direction for Season 2, then, is clear. The story's going to follow the recovery, or if the writers go down a darker road, the funerals of these characters, while fleshing out Kate and Austin's case against Trowbridge. They can't exactly accuse the PM of treason without the requisite evidence. In the meantime, the White House's efforts to slot Kate into the soon-to-be vacant role of Vice President are sure to accelerate. In an interview with Netflix's editorial site, Tudum, Sewell shared his hopes for Hal's survival. "I just have to hope that there's be a second season and that everyone will be okay. But the drama needs to be real," he said. As for Kate and Hal's marital issues, he added, "I like to think that there are enough problems to last us a few seasons." Who knows? Who will be the cast? Part of what makes the series work is the easy charisma of its ensemble. A second season would need all the players to return to create the same effect. Thus far, it seems likely the cast will remain the same, featuring Russell, Sewell, Alian, Asando, Geisy, Kinnear, Miguel Sandoval, and more. Allison Janney will also join in Season 2 as Vice President Grace Penn, Netflix announced. When will Season 2 come out? Netflix confirmed that The Diplomat Season 2 will arrive in 2024, but there's no exact release date. For reference, news of Netflix greenlighting the show first dropped in January 2022, and Season 1 premiered 15 months later. As for Season 2, filming in London was delayed during the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike, likely pushing back the release date. Netflix did confirm that the show is in production, though, sharing a new behind-the-scenes photo of Russell with Kahn together on set. Let's talk about the first season of The Diplomat. The Diplomat, like the business it portrays, walks a wire. In practice, that could have created a real marketing nightmare for Netflix. The series needed to bear a passing resemblance to the real world of phone calls and paperwork it represents. But neither could its jargon be so technical as to alienate viewers. Ideally, the show would be both accurate to U.S. international relations and riveting its depiction of them. Leaning too far into either camp would sever a delicate thread. Once audiences get acquainted with the life and times of one Kate Weiler, The Diplomat is indeed a simple enough series to follow. Even when it isn't, rest assured, you needn't pick up every drop name to grasp the gist. But settling into the U.S. Embassy in London takes Kate a few episodes, and so too does the series use its initial hours to warm up a few muscles. The dramatic payoff is ultimately worth that early, slow investment. Trust us, it gets fun. What exactly is The Diplomat about? Well, The Diplomat is, of course, about the act of diplomacy, an effort to avoid war between the UK and Iran, which could easily become a war involving numerous other countries, including the US. At the start of the series, U.S. diplomat Kate Weiler is preparing to begin her role as ambassador of Afghanistan when a British aircraft carrier, the HMS Courageous, is attacked in the Persian Gulf off the coast of Iran. Numerous British service members are killed. The White House calls Kate in for a briefing where the president and chief of staff inform her the trip to Kabul is off. Instead, she becomes U.S. ambassador to the UK, a role she very much does not want given, as the chief of staff puts it, the job's ceremonial component. But Washington needs someone in London to offer condolences on their behalf, given the importance of the U.S.-UK alliance and to stop a war before it starts. Turns out Kate's the perfect fit. She has serious suspicions that Iran was behind the death of the Courageous and is determined to uncover not only the motivations behind the bombing, but the real culprit. She's sure it's the only way to avoid a tragedy spurred by faulty intelligence. Sounds familiar? But both UK Prime Minister Nicole Trowbridge and the US Vice President are eager to prove their mettle in the face of foreign attacks and to win public support in the process. Their recklessness is not just toxic, but catching. Iran doesn't make sense as the aggressor, but if the UK were to retaliate, regardless, the situation would become an all-out crisis. Together with British Foreign Secretary Austin Dennison and her crew of U.S. Embassy and CIA officials, Kate is tasked with managing Trowbridge's thirst for action while juggling the Secretary of State's dissatisfaction with her and the still unconfirmed source of the Courageous strike. In the midst of the main conflict are two other sub-conflicts, one between Kate and her government and one between Kate and her husband. The White House wants Kate to replace their soon-to-be disgraced VP. Kate has no interest in the job. Kate wants a divorce from her husband, Hal. He wants to stay together. Oh, and one other issue. The vice presidency and divorce don't tend to exist amicably in the same sentence. The dialogue in The Diplomat, like that of The West Wing, is fast-paced and quippy, with rarely much room for exposition or explanation. That's fitting for the environment where employees are expected to know and speak the language of foreign relations with ease. But to the casual viewer, acronyms like GCHQ and NSC might trigger quizzical looks. Is The Diplomat based on a true story? Yes and no. The story is entirely fictional, but the show creator Deborah Kahn says many elements are inspired by reality, if not at all faithful to it. The Diplomat frequently references real-life circumstances and events such as Brexit, the ongoing war in Ukraine, U.S. commercial interest in the Middle East, the post-9/11 U.S. invasion of Iraq, and COVID-19 pandemic. I wasn't looking to create a mirror image of what's happening now, Kahn told Ellie.com, but there are certain dynamics that repeat themselves and are legible from looking at our current situation, and I felt like they're worth dramatizing. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and found it entertaining, then don't forget to hit the like button below. And if you want to stay updated with more great content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking that red button and just ring the notification bell so you never miss any future content from us. Your support means the world to us.